No trace, no goodbye. And the one person who may know what happened disappeared too. What really happened to Lily and Jack Sullivan? Why did their mother walk away when the world was searching? This case isn't just a mystery. It's a mirror into the shadows we don't want to see. Before we begin, if you believe every child deserves justice, if you believe that silence should never bury the truth, subscribe now. By subscribing, you're not just watching another true crime story. You're joining a community that refuses to look away, a community that fights for children like Jack and Lily Sullivan. Hit like, share this video, and comment where you're watching from, because staying informed is how we protect the innocent. Together, we are the voice that keeps their light alive. May 2nd, 2025. Lily and Jack Sullivan vanish from their small Nova Scotia home before sunrise. No neighbors saw them leave. No cameras captured a departure. Within hours, search teams fan out, boots crunching on damp pine needles, voices calling into cold morning air. Then, the discovery, a torn pink blanket, found snagged on a tree near the old ATV trail, a second piece fluttering in the brush. That blanket became a symbol, a thread of hope, but also a chilling question mark. Helicopters scanned treetops, drones buzzed low, volunteers combed streams and gullies. Every footprint checked, every rustle in the leaves a possible sign. But the forest gave no answers. As the hours turned to days, the early search became a race against fear. Would Lily and Jack be found alive, hiding, waiting, or had something darker taken them, leaving only that pink blanket behind? While the forest was being searched, another disappearance was happening in silence. Just one day after reporting her children missing, Malia, the mother of Lily and Jack, walked away. No press conference, no tearful interviews, no standing beside search crews begging for her children's return. She took her youngest child and left the area, and never came back. Most mothers in these cases remain at the center of the search, clutching photos, pleading with the public, refusing to leave until their children are found. But Malia's absence became a question that hovered over the entire investigation. Why did she leave when Lily and Jack were still missing, with no proof they were alive or dead? The RCMP made no public judgment. The media held back from accusations. But the public noticed, because when a mother steps away in the middle of a nationwide search, it creates a vacuum. And in that vacuum, suspicion, fear, and theories began to grow, layer by layer, overshadowing the search for Lily and Jack with another mystery. Why would the one person who might know the most choose silence? Some believe that Malia's silence wasn't secrecy, but collapse. A quiet, devastating breakdown that left her unable to stand in front of cameras or crowds, pleading for her children's return. Psychologists call it reality refusal. In moments of unbearable trauma, some parents shut down completely, unable to process the magnitude of what's happening. They don't scream, they don't demand justice. They don't hold on to the search teams or stay near the investigation. They disappear inwardly, and sometimes outwardly too. And Malia's life before May 2nd wasn't easy. She was a single mother living off-grid, reportedly dealing with prolonged stress, isolation, and the relentless demands of raising multiple small children. In many cases, this combination can lead to a silent fracture of the mind, a moment when reality becomes too heavy, and the only way to survive is to step away, even when your children are still missing. This theory does not accuse. It does not assume guilt. It asks us to look at Malia not as a suspect, but as someone who may have been crushed by the unimaginable weight of loss and fear, retreating because she had nothing left to give. Law enforcement never labeled her uncooperative. They simply noted that she left. And for some, that's a warning bell about the hidden mental health crisis many mothers endure in silence. Because sometimes the loudest clue in a disappearance is not a scream in the night, but the silence of a mother who cannot speak. But what if Malia's silence wasn't just collapse, but choice? In child disappearance cases, the person who steps back quietly can sometimes hold pieces of the truth they aren't ready or too afraid to reveal. This is the passive protector theory. It suggests that a mother might see something, hear something, or sense that something is wrong, but instead of speaking, she retreats into silence. Not because she's guilty of harm, but because she's terrified of what will happen if she speaks. Maybe it's fear of retaliation. Maybe it's fear of tearing apart what's left of a fragile family. Or maybe it's fear of being blamed for something she didn't do, simply because she was closest to the children when they disappeared. Criminologists call this complicit by silence. It doesn't mean she laid a hand on Lily and Jack. It means that in the shadows of this case, there may be a witness who is too afraid to testify, too bound by fear or loyalty to come forward. On May 2nd, she called the police to report Lily and Jack missing. On May 3rd, she quietly left the area with her youngest child and never returned. No press appearances, no standing beside search teams, no statements to the public. It's an absence that feels like a void in the investigation. And it raises a painful question. If she knew something, anything about what happened to Lily and Jack, what could be so powerful, so terrifying, that she would choose silence instead of fighting for answers? We don't know if this theory is true. Law enforcement hasn't accused her of a crime, but silence can become its own kind of evidence, and in the disappearance of Lily and Jack, it's a silence that continues to echo. But there is a darker theory, one that no one wants to believe, but that history has taught us can't be ignored. What if the mother, Malia, wasn't just a passive witness or a silent protector? What if she was directly involved in the disappearance of Lily and Jack? We've seen this before. Susan Smith, who staged a carjacking before it was revealed she had taken the lives of her own children. Casey Anthony, who failed to report her daughter missing for 31 days while projecting an image of innocence. In these cases, the stories began with confusion and silence, then spiraled into revelations that shattered communities. Let's be clear, the RCMP has not accused Malia of any crime. She has not been named a suspect. But the timeline remains chilling. On May 2nd, she called police to report Lily and Jack missing. On May 3rd, she left the area with her youngest child, never returned to search, and has remained silent ever since. Some ask, if a mother truly has nothing to hide, why would she leave when her children are still missing? Why no pleas to the public, no standing beside the stepfather, no vigils, no calls for answers? It's a theory no one wants to consider, that the disappearance may not have been an accident, nor an abduction, but something orchestrated from within the home by the person the children trusted most. Perhaps a hidden psychological collapse, family conflict, or unbearable pressures pushed her to a breaking point. Perhaps it was a decision made in a moment of despair, or something more deliberate. In cases like these, the motive is often buried beneath layers of mental health struggles, financial hardship, and personal crises invisible to outsiders. It doesn't always come from malice. It can come from a place of desperation, distorted logic, and unthinkable fear. Again, there is no formal accusation, no charges filed, and no direct evidence shared with the public that confirms this theory. But in the disappearance of Lily and Jack, the silence of the one person who was there remains a shadow on the investigation, a shadow that cannot be ignored. But what if Malia's disappearance wasn't voluntary at all? What if the mother of Lily and Jack didn't simply walk away, but was removed, hidden, or silenced by forces much larger than herself? In high-profile missing persons cases, there are moments when authorities step in quietly, moving individuals out of public view for their own protection, or to protect the integrity of an investigation. It doesn't always come with press releases or flashing lights. Sometimes it's a quiet phone call, a closed-door conversation, and a silent exit in the middle of the night. It's happened before. In cases where family members witness something too dangerous to speak about publicly, or when a threat against their lives is credible enough, law enforcement can intervene under the table, relocating potential witnesses under informal protection, while investigations continue in the background. And consider this, the RCMP has never publicly criticized Malia for leaving. They have never labeled her uncooperative. They have not pleaded for her to return to speak, nor have they framed her silence as obstruction. Instead, there has been a notable quiet around her disappearance, an absence of pressure, an absence of condemnation. Could it be strategy? Could it be that the RCMP knows something the public does not? Or, on the other hand, could it be that Malia didn't leave for safety, but was forced into silence by someone else, a threat, a coercive figure, someone within her circle, who made it clear that if she spoke, there would be consequences? This theory suggests that Malia's absence isn't a sign of guilt, but of fear. A fear so deep that it eclipses a mother's instinct to fight for her children publicly. A fear that says, stay silent, or it gets worse. Once again, let's be clear, there is no official confirmation of witness protection, no evidence of direct threats, no documented forced removal. But in a case where 2 children remain missing, and the mother vanishes under a cloud of unanswered questions, the possibility that her silence is not her choice cannot be dismissed. If this is the truth, then the mother of Lily and Jack may be the key to unraveling what really happened, but she is a key currently locked away, waiting for the right moment to speak, if she ever can. Her absence has become more than just a footnote in this case. It has become the fuel for a wildfire of rumors, theories, and whispered suspicions. Across forums, family group chats, and comment sections, people dissect her silence, frame by frame, asking the same question in 1,000 different ways. Why would a mother walk away when her children are still missing? Some see it as proof of psychological collapse. Others believe it is the quiet scream of a woman trapped by fear, knowing something she cannot say out loud. Some whisper that she was forced to disappear, by the authorities, or by someone darker, pulling strings from the shadows. And the harshest voices call it guilt, hinting that she may have played a role in the disappearance itself. The longer Malia remains silent, the deeper the mystery cuts into this case. The pink blanket found in the woods. The forest searches that turned up no trace. The dashcam footage that led nowhere. All of these pieces sit in the public's mind like unsolved riddles, but her absence overshadows them all. It's not fair, perhaps. Silence is not always guilt. Withdrawal is not always hiding. But in the vacuum of answers, suspicion thrives, and the internet does not forgive easily. Low drone cue. Each day she remains out of view, the theories expand. Was it a collapse of mental health? Was it fear of retaliation? Was it quiet removal under the watch of authorities? Or was it something far more sinister? And all the while, 2 children remain missing. If Lily and Jack are still alive somewhere, they need their mother's voice now more than ever. If they are not, then the truth needs to find its way into the light, no matter how painful, no matter how complicated. Because every moment of silence in this case leaves a space where darkness can grow. Let's take a breath and step back. 5 theories. 5 possible paths in the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan. A mother who may have suffered a psychological collapse, unable to stand in the public eye while her world shattered. A mother who may have seen something too dark to name, becoming complicit by silence out of fear or misplaced loyalty. A mother who, in the darkest theory, may have been directly involved, orchestrating a disappearance no one wanted to believe possible. Or a mother removed from the picture by authorities, or hidden forces, for protection, or to keep her silent. Or perhaps it was something else entirely, something we have not yet considered, because the silence is too thick and the fear too real. What we know for certain is this: Lily and Jack are still missing. There has been no proof of life, but there has been no proof of death either. In cases like these, hope is fragile but essential, because miracles have happened. Children have been found alive weeks, months, even years later. That is why we cannot let Lily and Jack's names fade. That is why your voice matters. If you know anything about this case, call the RCMP immediately. And if you want to stand for these children and others like them, join us by subscribing right now. It's not just a button, it is proof that you are part of a community that will not let missing children be forgotten. Like this video, share it with your community, and comment below where you are watching from, so Lily and Jack's names continue to echo until the truth is found. We will not stop searching. We will not stop asking questions. Because if Lily and Jack are still out there, they need us now, and together we will not let their light fade. If you know anything about what happened to Lily and Jack Sullivan, call the RCMP immediately. Even the smallest tip could be the missing piece to bring them home. If you care about protecting children and keeping stories like Jack and Lily's alive, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with your community, and comment below where you're watching from. Your voice matters. And if you want to join a community that refuses to let these children be forgotten, subscribe and turn on notifications. This is more than following a channel. It is standing for children who need us to keep watch when the world goes silent. Together we will not let Jack and Lily's light fade.